Welcome to a new season of League One predictions, and it is season 3 of Very Biased Opinions. Myself and Thomas have already done predictions for League 2, League 1, the Championship and the Premier League, so you can see that all on the channel right now, or you can click in the top link left-hand side of the screen to click onto those videos too. This will probably be the shortest of all of the League 1 videos that we do, but do remember, Week 1, Thomas, if you don't get off to a win, you might as well just count yourself out of the title race straight away. It's all or nothing. All or nothing in a 46-game season, this first one. As always, please leave your comments down below. Please click the like. Please click subscribe. And please also enter our Premier League predictions competition. If you haven't already entered that, as you can win up to £400 of prizes. We do it in association with Grandstand Bettors, our great sponsors on these videos. You can click on the link below to check out that. It'll also be on the pinned comment in the comments too.
And don't forget, we're an Amazon affiliate seller, so if you're buying something from Amazon today, please just go below, have a click. It's a small click for you, but a little bit of profit for us. But without further ado, or any more of this lily gilding, it's Accrington Stanley hosting Peterborough United.
A lot of eyes will be on Peterborough United on this one, Thomas. It's very much their revenge season, as we talked about in our League One predictions season video. Ever since that points per game, even when the mention of points per game came out, Peterborough United felt hard done by, and rightly so. They were one of the sides that were screwed over most of all by it. So I've actually predicted that they're going to have a really strong season. I've also predicted Accrington Stanley will struggle. What are your thoughts on this Giants against Minnows encounter?
I would like to double down on our preseason predictions of Peterborough going up, Stanley going down, and I can't possibly see the Peterborough goal machine, even with 2/3 of its goal machine gone, not going absolutely ham here. Ian, before you even get a chance, I'm going 3-0 to Peterborough.
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to match your score early doors. Tough on one for Accrington. I'm going for Accrington 0, Peterborough 3.
Gillingham versus Hull City.
Hull City, newly relegated, playing in this level. I don't know when the last time Hull were down this low. They seem to have been in Championship side for a long, long time. Coming up against a very sturdy and steady Gillingham side run by Steve Evans. We think Gillingham will do well this season. We're not so hot on Hull. I think they're going to be more of a middle of the pack just because it fell off a cliff so drastically for them at the end of last season. But we think Gillingham will be away. I mean, we got them in mid-table, but it's mid-table with
we've actually got them right next to each other. We've got Gillingham in 11th and Hull in 12th.
Well, I mean, but it's what I meant in quotation marks was just the fact of it's not, you could throw a blanket over the number of points sides will have around there, and it's only a couple of wins before you start. One of those sides will be looking at the playoffs for sure. But just don't think they're going to be consistent enough over the course of the season. What are your thoughts on this one?
1-1 draw. That is my thoughts. That is my entire thoughts for this match.
Okay. I actually think Gillingham are going to win this game. I'm going to go for a sneaky Gillingham win. I think they're generally pretty hard to beat, and I think it will be Gillingham 2, Hull City 1. Sunderland versus Bristol Rovers.
So, Ian, it's time to talk about my favourite car factory. That's right. It's the Bristol Rovers machine. Do you want to stop me, or no? I get to keep going.
No, excellent. You go for it. Right. You carry on talking your. I'm going to talk a lot. Your new mantra of I'm going to talk nothing but sense about these League One sides this year. Just watching you throw that out the window straight away.
The V8 motor that is the Bristol Rovers car factory is gonna just turn it on to full. All 18 gaskets and the spark plug are gonna be firing. Look, honestly, this Sunderland. We both have this Sunderland side ending in the playoffs. I really hope for Sunderland or Portsmouth's sake they can win in the playoffs and finally get out of this league, because it almost seems to be hurting them to still play here. But I think Sunderland are too strong for Bristol Rovers. I don't think they're going to have as hard a start as they had last year. So I'm going for a Sunderland win. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, Sunderland, they seem to be strengthening their side on an almost daily basis as players coming into Sunderland. Danny Graham is the newest one that's come in. He's definitely going to adds a lot of goals to their side, or potential goals. They seem to have a wealth of attacking talent in that team. It's just a case of, will Sunderland do it, or will they find a way to mess it up, which seems to be the way they seem to like going about things. I don't think they'll have any problems in this game. I don't think Bristol Rovers are going to give them too many problems. It's going to be a nice win in the empty Stadium of Light. I'm going to go 2-0 to Sunderland.
Oh, it's the same score as me. I know sometimes I don't give huge descriptions like in Gillingham versus Hull, but Sunderland, they're such a good team, and I really don't rate Rovers this season. I think they're going to have a really hard time in this league. And Sunderland had such a bad start last year, didn't they? It was like draw. All they got to do is turn a couple of those to wins, and they're in the top half of the table and in the playoffs right away. Crewe, Alexandra versus Charlton Athletic.
It's a bit of an interesting one. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Crewe go. They played really good football last year in League Two, and so hopefully they'll carry that on this season. It's a good opportunity against the Charlton side that feel a little bit sorry for themselves. Things haven't been going their way. It's a bit like off the field, they've got all these constant problems, although they do seem to be like they're taking another step forward. It looks like the ownership situation might finally be getting resolved. However, I am going to be backing Crewe in this one.
Oh, wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
That is exciting. I am not a big fan of this Charlton side. I think we've had some people come on and comment about the fact that they're having this takeover and all this good stuff's happening. But the club has been in such a free fall, and they had such a hard time last year. And the fact that they've only just been sold, 10 days before the season was getting off means that they've had very little time to do any business and any little time to actually plan for the season. Because what's your budget? What are you signing? How are you going to go about it? And it's the same with a lot of these teams. Like League One is a really tough competition, and I think Charlton are going to have a hard time with it. Crewe came up flying last year. They impressed a lot of people. And I think I'll back Crewe as well, because you've sold me on them, Ian. You've sold me on them.
It was such a shock, and then you go and do the same thing.
Well, I had to talk myself into it. I'll go Crewe 1, Charlton 0.
Yeah, I'll go just one more goal either side. Crewe 2, Charlton 1. Fleetwood Town versus Burton Albion.
It's Joey Barton and his band of reprobates versus mid-table obscurity Burton Albion. We are in for an absolute cracker. There's going to be a ton of goals. It's going to be super exciting. Neither of these teams like to fly forward. Neither of these teams like to concede a lot of goals. So we are in for an absolute set of fireworks, Ian. What do you think is going to happen?
Literally just screams of like a quality football match, doesn't it? If you could pick any game you could go to, if you could pay your £10 to watch any of these games in the Football League, Fleetwood versus Burton would be right up there, wouldn't it? Right up there with any of them.
Right, it's top quality football.
But seriously, it is hard not to see Fleetwood winning this one. I mean, they have got to be raring to go after they mess things up against Wycombe in the playoffs. You've got to think, and a nice home game against Burton Albion is one they'll be fancying. They look like they got the goal scoring boots on. They overturned a 2-0 deficit in the League Cup last time out and won 3-2. So I do expect a pretty high scoring game in terms of Fleetwood getting goals. I think it's going to be Fleetwood 3, Burton 1.
Ian, I'm going to go with 2-1. I definitely think Fleetwood are going to win as well. Doncaster Rovers, or Bells, versus MK Dons. So Doncaster last season was a side I really liked, and they had for the first half of the season some really sensational play, like genuinely looked like a contender. They were constantly in and around the playoffs, and then the second half of the season kicked in, and then obviously post-COVID kicked in, and they were just absolutely garbage. They did not look like a good footballing team. They looked to fall apart, and I don't think they've improved over the summer. We've talked about them already. I think we decided on them being in 14th place to end the season, which is not a great place to be. But they're playing an MK Don side that we have in 18th. Now, one of our lovely listeners has written in to tell us why we're wrong about the MK Dons. And for your sake, I hope you're correct. But I'm convinced that you're wrong. So I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw.
Oh my God. For me, Thomas, it's about let's see if Darren Moore can mess it all up again like he seems to do. He likes to have a little but don't worry, everybody will still talk about what a great job he's doing, because that's all they ever do with Darren Moore. Let's just keep things interesting. Let's go for an away win, because of our listener that wrote in and said we're going to be wrong about MK Dons. I'm backing him. 1-0 Milton Keynes.
Ian's favourite club, Swindon Town, hosts Ian's ex-favourite club, Rochdale.
Surely, how can you possibly say that and insult me on here? Clearly, Rochdale are my favourite side out of these two, considering we spent the whole of last season calling them my favourite club. And then of all the sides you say I like more, Swindon?
Mate, you're the one who picked them to be a top 10 side.
I'm not. Well, right. Weirdly, we did pick Swindon to finish top half, and we did pick Rochdale, I think, even to come bottom of the league. But I
23rd.
can't have Swindon Town winning their first game of the season. It just goes against every fibre of my being. This is going to be where I'm going to be hopeless at League One predictions this season, because I have to back Oxford every week and I have to back against Swindon every week. And it starts here. Swindon 0, Rochdale 2. You get no more analysis from Swindon out of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be 2-0 to Swindon. Rochdale are just a car wreck waiting to happen. We've already covered that. Honestly, if you really want in-depth analysis on any of these guys, watch our preseason predictions. We don't need to repeat ourselves. Swindon are way too good a side to not beat this Rochdale team. And Ian, let me state that for the first time in a very long time, you betting on Oxford week in, week out is going to pay off. But before, don't jump the gun.
Load of fighters, up for the battle, know how to get out of a dogfight. You put them on the beaches of Normandy, Tom, and Rochdale, they come out alive.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, Ipswich Town host Wigan Athletic.
Oh man, Wigan. What is left of Wigan Athletic? It is. We talk about this all the time on Very Biased Opinions, don't we? Of meddling owners messing up the club. We talked about it in our League One predictions video, and the ones who suffer are the fans. And there's arguably no more loyal fans than Wigan. When they came out and said we need money, the fans rallied round and raised about 700 grand, I think it was, out of nothing, which is, in these times, is remarkable how much loyalty there is to Wigan from their fans. It is amazing. But owners, whoever's messed this club up, should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. And I feel sorry for everybody there. So I don't really like Ipswich that much. I don't really want to talk about them too much, but I think they're going to get off to a good start. They did well in their first game in the League Cup, scored a lot of goals. So I think it'll be 3-0 to Ipswich.
Yeah, I'm going 4-0 to Ipswich. Wigan, I'm sorry. I think you guys even think you're going down. If you stay up, it might be the greatest achievement in English football this year. Obviously, outside of Leeds winning the Premier League.
Plymouth Argyle versus Blackpool.
Right, Ian, so we've got both these teams kind of at the top of that giant blanket of clubs trying to fight for a playoff place, which should mean that we're going to get some fantastic football in this game. They're two decently matched sides coming against each other. How do you feel about this game?
This for me is probably the most exciting game of the weekend in League One. I think this is going to be an excellent game. Two sides.
Excuse me. Lincoln versus Oxford is less exciting than Plymouth.
Yeah, I think this one. I think this one's going to have a lot of goals in it. I do think we'll get to Lincoln Oxford. Don't spoil it. Yeah. I think this one's got two sides that like to play attacking football. I think it'd be really interesting to see how Blackpool go about it. Plymouth were really good last year in League Two. So I think it'll be a very, very open game. And I think there'll be a lot of goals. And this is going to be our really high-scoring one for both sides. But I'm going for a 3-2 win for the Green Army.
Green Army.
That's it.
I am actually going to do the inverse of that. I have the Tangerines winning this 3-2. I think no matter what, both these sides are in for a really good year. I think a little bit of inconsistency is going to be what harms them both, but they're both capable of scoring. They're both capable of defending. And I just think it's going to be a really open start. So 3-2 to the Tangerines.
And we go from that free-flowing, exciting game, and we lead into this one. Portsmouth versus Shrewsbury Town.
There's not a huge amount I need to say about this. Portsmouth are a quality footballing outfit that should be in the top 7 or 8 by the end of the season. Shrewsbury play their anti-football garbage, and I think they're going to do worse this year than they did last year. I've got Portsmouth to win this, but because of the anti-football that Shrewsbury always bring, especially to away matches, it's going to be 1-0 to Portsmouth, and Kenny Jackett's head will be asked for on a spike.
But the biggest question, Tom, is what jacket will Kenny be wearing?
Probably none. It's quite warm right now.
Okay, that's good. Yes, South Coast. Yeah, good shout on that one. Tom, Shrewsbury, Sam Ricketts, and they got Dean Whitehead in as assistant manager. If that's not a good, solid Oxford United connection, I don't know what is. So for me, I have to back the Shrews to get something out of this one. It'll be a dirty grind on the South Coast. One apiece.
Phil.
Northampton Town versus AFC Wimbledon.
Ian, as you know with League One, I like to keep things short and sweet when it comes to teams playing football I don't care about. I don't care about either of these teams. I'm pretty sure at least one or both of them will get relegated this season. As such, I do not see a classic game of football, and I see 0-0.
Well, I'm actually going to upset the apple cart, and I'm going to back AFC Wimbledon in this one, Tom. I thought they actually looked pretty good in the game against Oxford. You could see they've got a very good game plan. The players seem to be bought into it. They are very compact and quite hard to break down, and they look like they've got quite a, they know how to break and they know how to be effective with the possession that they have and from set pieces. And what I saw, I think they can certainly cause Northampton some trouble. And I think Wimbledon will win 1-0.
Love this. You're the one who demanded we put them in the relegation zone.
I know.
Now you're picking them to win.
I literally was thinking, as I said it, this is classic, very biased opinions to literally just go against everything that we said in the pre-season predictions.
We don't even trust ourselves.
To be honest, Thomas, I'm bored of all these teams and bored of all these games. Let's talk about something meaningful. It's time for the main event.
A small town in the Midlands, Lincoln City, hosting Oxford United.
You know the heartbreak I have in this one. You know the heartbreak of how close I live to this ground and how I cannot go to the game. It's very, very frustrating. We've talked to death about how we think Oxford are going to do. You can see what you think about them on the League One video. You can see what I think about them on the Oxford United video, which is up there as well. We also think that Lincoln are going to go well. So this should be a really good test for both sides of how they're going to go this season. And remember what I said at the very start of the video. If you don't win your first game, you've had it. You've absolutely had it. You might as well not even bother competing. Oxford do worry me a little bit with the fact that they haven't hit their straps yet and they're not playing that great of football, although they are still like controlling a lot of games and controlling a lot of possession. This Lincoln side is dangerous. They've recruited really well. But of course, I'm going to be backing Oxford United. Thomas, we beat them 6-0 last season. 6-0. Lincoln fans, and you can quite happily put that in a montage when you beat us on Saturday, but it's not going to happen. Oxford United to win this game, 2-1.
I don't think there's really a lot more that I can say about this. We like Lincoln, we like Oxford. You've covered Oxford to death. Please, everyone, check out our Oxford United review. It's fantastic. Ian talks in depth about everything that has to do with Oxford United except the colour of their shirts, which I think we missed a trick on there. I trick.
I don't like the orange kit. There you go.
I've heard that. I've heard that from quite a few fans. It's not as bad as Man United away, though, so don't worry. Or third kid, or whatever the hell that is. Anyway, Oxford United to win this 1-0. Done. As always, everybody, thank you very much for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just continuing to be there with us and joining in on this. It means a lot. Like, we started this channel 3 years ago with League One. It was basically just Oxford and Man United, and it's been so much fun to follow it, and it's been so much fun to have you guys along for the run. If you're interested, if you want to win some money, please sign up to the pool tracker competition we're running, £400 in prizes to be won. If you're buying stuff, please click on Amazon. But more importantly, guys, just please continue to like, subscribe, and comment, because it's what keeps me going at night.